Hi, I'm Derek, and if you do not have a consistent sales process, then your sales and your business, the income that you generate is not going to be consistent. So I'm going to be sharing with you the 4 big steps to creating a construction sales process that cranks out new customers and brings more deposits and jobs your way. All right, I'm going to be bringing you through the 4 different steps to a solid sales process for your construction business. This is geared towards more of a general contractor, renovator, home builder, someone to this nature, although a sub-trade, contracting company or other types of construction companies can definitely build off of this to make a solid sales process for their team. And the first thing, the number 1 step, you're going to get your leads come in, right? So you've done marketing, you've done advertising, lead comes in, whether that's, captured on a form on your website or they've given you a call directly because they got your number from, Google search or whatever. So the first step is to investigate and make sure that you're capturing, you're retaining that first contact and having like a first initial good experience. And you're going to simply, for your process, you're going to have you'll want to have a written out process, and I've got this available. If you're interested, reach out to me. But you're going to want to capture, the scope of the project. What are they looking for? Their timelines. How soon do they want to get started? How long do they expect kind of things to take? Their budget, of course. What is their budget for the project? Some people may be hesitant to give this out on the first call, but you could at least sort of get a feel for where the numbers are at, or at least from the scope, you could say, just, over the phone, super rough, like generally kitchen renovation that you've proposed is anywhere from, 50 to 120 grand or whatever it might be for your area or what you've done in the past. At least kind of give them a ballpark to kind of get an idea of like where their budget is and a little bit of expectation from them. And then simply ask them, how does that sound to you? And then from there, you want to explain your process, your first initial consultation. So you're going to be like, hey, sounds great. Looks like, I'd love to come out to your home or wherever you're going to be doing the work, wherever the renovation's happening. This is what you can expect. I'm going to come. I'm going to have a document for you that we're going to go through. You can walk me through your house and I can kind of see your place and whatever. Walk them through the process that you're going to do with them. This gives them some sort of indication of like what to expect, as well as shows them like, hey, this person has a process. They're a professional. This isn't like, hey, I'll come over, grab a cup of coffee and we'll chat about your project. Like, it's a lot more professional when you can explain ahead of time what your process is. Then you can either have a scheduler link or you can just schedule it right on the call. So if you have a scheduler link, you can send it to them. They'll click on it and pick a time when it works for them and you. That links up with your calendar, Google Calendar, iCalendar, whatever. Or just schedule on the call. Like, hey, you know what? I've got some availability tomorrow afternoon or Friday morning. Looks like a good day. What's your schedule like? Figure it out. Make sure that next step is clearly defined. Like, hey, I'm going to send you this link. Please schedule a date. If I don't hear back from you, I will follow up with a phone call in 1 or 2 days, so that they know like you're going to be on your game as far as like making sure that you get something scheduled with them. And then whether you do this or you pass it off to somebody else, but you need to make sure all their data is in a CRM. So everything that they've told you, their scope, their timeline, their budget, their location, age, kids, dog, cat, their neighbors, whatever, any information that you've collected from them should be retained and put into a CRM so that you can pull from it and anybody else can pull from it, especially if you have salespeople or other people in your organization that may be doing the initial consult and it's maybe just the your admin who fielded the call and scheduled this or whatever, so everyone has the information. So that's a long one. Number 1, you want to investigate and capture. Number 2, the home consult. So from there, you've scheduled the home consultation. You're pretty much going to show up, make sure you park out front. They can see you. You got all your logoed whatever shirts on and hat, graphics on your vehicle or whatever, so they can clearly see it's you. You look professional. You're showing up super sharp, and you're going to do initial meet and greet, build some rapport, do a walk around. of their place, get their input, ask a lot of open questions. Sales is not about telling them how great you are. It's about understanding and realizing what they want and getting a feel for where they're at. So you're going to build some rapport, ask them a lot of questions, get a good feel. And then you're going to want to have some sort of presentation, some sort of document, or PowerPoint presentation, something that you can go through with them. Just simply pretty much, telling them about your company, giving them some sort of documentation of like, this is our process, this is how we operate, these are some of the people on our team, remaining open and just like a bit of expectation. These are past projects we've done. Like, you guys are considering this, kitchen. These are a couple of kitchens that I pulled up of previous projects, and this is like the before and after. So they know like you do top quality work, that you're a good fit, all those kind of things. So some sort of presentation, some graphics, a notepad, a notebook, or something on a laptop. And then you want to kind of set expectations with them. Be open, no tricks, no gimmicks, no. People nowadays are very keen to, any kind of salesy stuff. So if you're going over the top with your sales and like trying to, push things and be pushy, it's probably not going to go over well. People pick up on that. So just be genuine, be open, be honest if something comes up and doesn't look good. And then the last point to the home consult is be the expert, right? They want someone who's an expert. They want someone who's going to give them ideas, who's going to ask them, maybe they want something that's just like, it's a little crazy, right? So be open with them, like, we can do whatever you want, but this is probably going to cost you a lot of money, or I've done this in the past and it didn't really turn out well. I think this may be, a better way to go about it. Totally open, your choice. We'll do what you think is best. But from my expert opinion, that's maybe have you considered this, or have you considered that? Or, I noticed your panel is, super old. It's got fuses still in it and it's like 100 amp. You want to put in a new electric charger for your new, Tesla that you're going to be purchasing. Well, we've got to upgrade this or that. Show that you're an expert. You've done this before. Give them some insight. Maybe from design or nuts and bolts as far as like how things are going to come together. And that'll make them feel more comfortable with you, right? Not simply just like agreeing with like, you're not taking an order at a restaurant, like, okay, I'll have the steak and the eggs and the green eggs and ham, but actually like giving them feedback and a little bit of back and forth so they can know what to expect when they're working with you. So that's pretty much the home consult. And then always you want to do next steps, right? So you captured them on the phone or wherever. Next step was the home consult. From here, the home consult, like, I hope you're feeling comfortable with everything we've gone through. Our next step would be to essentially get a retainer or a deposit, and then we can start jumping into providing like an estimate for you, a budget, a schedule, whatever the next step is. Again, it depends a little bit about your business. If you're more like doing smaller projects or a subcontractor, you might be able to provide like an estimate very quickly on the spot, if you have a very niched kind of offering. But if it involves like a bunch of work on your part, generally you're going to want to get paid for that work, providing the estimate, providing budget, providing design, if they're considering different designs and stuff like that. So whatever that next step is, tell them, to work with us. This is what we expect from you, deposit, retainer, whatever. Can I send you the information? Yada, yada, yada. And if they're like, I got to think it over, this and that. I'm not getting into sales psychology here. This is the process that we're going through. So we're going to keep it super process oriented. But you could definitely have like some written out things internally of like common objections that come up, so that you can have some formulated kind of responses to those to kind of work them through the next steps, or give them the space that they need. So after that point, the next step would obviously be working together. So if that's gone well, you've solidified them as a client, you're going to be working together. If not, you always want to make sure you follow up. And again, tell them like if they're not sure, it's not a good timing, or they've said like, we've gone with a different contractor, or we're looking for other estimates or whatever. Always tell them, okay, that's great, fine. I'm glad you're doing your due diligence. Do you mind if I follow up with you in 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever the appropriate amount of time is? And then make sure you schedule it in your calendar. Follow up with them on the day exactly as you said. This builds rapport, puts more credit, in the bank as far as they know you're a professional. You do what you say, and you're keeping in communication. You're always telling them what the next thing is, whether that's just a follow up, whatever it may be. So on the follow up, always make a promise. So like on the first call, hey, promise to make a home consult invitation, promise to send an email, promise to show up on time, whatever, and then make sure you follow through with it, and that'll start building that relationship. Communication is key. I'm not going to get into that too much, but just being right up front, open, honest, and communicate freely is the best practice. And then deliverables, right? So if they've given you a deposit or retainer on doing some design work, getting a budget in place, providing an estimate, making a schedule, whatever they've paid you for up front or given you a deposit for, make sure you're on the ball and do like an awesome job. And that should make the transition from that point to doing the entire project much, much easier if you're doing like a design build type of offering to clients. So those 4 steps, investigate and capture the lead, do the home consult, ask for the deposit, retainer, some money up front to kind of get started and move the needle as far as like working with the client, and then follow up until they tell you, too much, not interested, don't need any more follow up, and then, tell them that's fine. Try to continue to have some sort of contact, even if it's months down the road or at a later time. So follow those 4 steps, put them in your process. As far as getting it like super detailed and putting all the little bits and pieces and nuts and bolts and like optimizing this process, that'll be very company specific and work that you have to do with your team. If you want help with this, reach out to me. This is what I do. I help people with their processes, getting all the nuts and bolts, figuring out, A to Z, what do we need to do, what needs to happen, how can we use this and delegate it and pass it on to other team members, whether that's your salespeople, your estimators, your project managers, whoever else is going to be handling this on your team or yourself, to make things easier for yourself. Also, I've got a free course in the links below, so check out the links in the description. Bunch of free stuff, great resources for you. Here's the best. Hope you knock it out of the park with all your sales and move those clients from point A to working with you in no time flat.